Hello, viewers. It is the Ukrainian Canadian here, bringing you another episode of Journey to a Tier 10. Last time, we took a look at the Panzer 35T, and this time, we're going to take a look at the Panzer 38T down this German line. If you noticed, I've already deleted the Panzer 38T. That was because I had a few failed recordings and my editor broke and a couple of other things that have prevented me making videos in a while. So I will just be showing one game of the 38T, and that will be it for this episode, as it's just a test to see if I maybe can get back to making videos. So let's hop into queue here. The Panzer 38T is very, very similar to the Panzer 35T, as the name would suggest. So we have a game on Live Oaks, Tier 5 game, so that means we'll be mostly scouting. Sorry about not making any videos in a long time. I've been extremely busy with school, and I just lost, as I was saying before, my recording software broke, which kind of sucks, and my editing software broke, and then my computer, the motherboard melted, so I had to completely get a new one, which not pleasant. So here I am again, giving this another go. So because we have a binoculars and camo net, we're going to see if we can set up a scouting position and scout them, or spot them, as they are driving into the town. So if we just go up here, get in this bush, turn on our camo net and binos. You can tell they are because they'll light up green in the bottom there. There we go. So yeah, sorry again for not making any videos in a long time, but what are you gonna do? So yeah. If you notice, I'm running a couple of mods since I last made a video. I'm running a XVM, which shows the chance to win and the efficiency and win rates and battles played of all the players. It shows I have a Sixth Sense icon, but you can't see, as don't have Sixth Sense on this tank. The reload timer on the left of the reticle is something they've added as standard from patch 8.9. Yes. So hopefully I can get back into making videos, because it's something I do enjoy, and I'm sure you guys would like to see more I don't know if you guys want to see more content from me, actually. Who can say? But I would love to put out content for those of you who would want to watch it. So let's see if we can move up and get a little bit of a better spot. Just let our binos go up, see if we can spot some artillery. No. Let's see, do we have shots on these guys? Not really. These guys are on the other side. Okay. Well, let's move up and see if we can take out that arty. Because, no point in letting them have an artillery advantage, especially if I can, see an open lane to get into their base like this. If you can see, by my X-ray mod, I can see the last known position of every tank. So if I just scooch over this way, in theory, I'll be able to snatch up some spots. Go here first, turn on my binos and camo net, and here we go. See, the camo net's activated, and the binoculars, we can spot some guys that are maybe just a little bit outside of our view range. So now we're getting spotting damage on that guy, and he's out of the way. So if we move this way, and this part is where it gets dangerous when we're cutting across this open field, but we'll try to keep that bush Shit, there he is. Dang it. Lucky little artillery there. Hit me on the move. Oh well, nothing we can do about that. This looks like we're probably going to win this game. Not much else to say. So let's go back to the garage and we can take a look at some of the changes to the tanks and see if we can move on in the line. So here we can see I've gathered quite a few more tanks as well as some premiums. If we go to all nations, I have quite a few more tanks. I'm much higher in the tiers too. I have gotten my first tier 10, the Batchat 25T, which is the French tier 10 medium. You can see lots of fancy little American tanks, and British tanks, and Germans. I have a lot of German tanks, and some French tanks, and some Russian tanks, and some Chinese tanks. But let's take a look at the tech tree and see what's different since the last time I did a video. So in the Americans, not much has changed except for the artillery switched to tiers 8 to 1 to 10. So we have a couple of new artillery in this line. It still goes up to tier 10 at the T92. In the autoloader department, the Americans have gotten an autoloader branch that branches out from the M7 medium to the T21 to the T71, which is the first autoloader, to the T69 to the T54E1 to the T57 heavy. And no other changes in the American. They also did some rebalancing on the Super Pershing, but I'm not quite sure what they did. Doesn't seem that different in battle. In the British, they've added the artillery, so Lloyd gun carrier, Sexton 2, Birch gun, Bishop, FV 304, Crusader SP, FV 207, FV 3805, and Conqueror gun carrier at tier 10. Yeah, they've added some tank destroyers and a branch to go from the Churchill 1 to the Churchill gun carrier to the AT7 if you wish to go that route. And the Germans have gotten lots of new fantastic changes. The artillery course standard changed 1 to 10, and a little bit of artillery. They added the second German tank destroyer line from the Marder 2 to the Marder 38T, which is basically what the Marder 2 used to be. The Panzerwagen, whatever this thing is called, the Nashorn, the PZFL5, SFL5, not the Waffenträger, I don't know, the tier 8, the Waffenträger Alf Panzer 4, and the Waffenträger Alf E100. They've also added the E25, which is a tier 7 German tank destroyer with a very fast-firing L70. No changes in the heavy tanks, I don't believe. They also rebalanced the engines of the 3601H Tiger 2 E75. They also added a tier 4 heavy, the DW2. Not even going to try to pronounce that. I have no idea. And then the 3001H was moved from tier 6 to tier 5 and designated a heavy tank. The 3601H was designated a heavy tank and then it continues as normal. They added a second oh, look at that, we won. Let's take a quick look at this. Oh, okay, I guess not. So Panzer 1C, Lux, Leopard, VK 2801, which was nerfed heavily and kind of sucks now. The Alf Panzer, the Indian Panzer, Rapid Prototype A, and Leopard 1, which is a fantastic line, in my opinion. In my very humble opinion. The French have no changes except for the changes to artillery to get it to tier 10. The Russians have a second medium branch out here. T34 to A43, A44, Object 416, and then it goes to the Object 140 at tier 10, which is basically a T-62A with gun depression. No other changes there except for artillery changes to get it to tier 10, and some just moving around in the tech tree, and they also took out the T-50-2 and replaced it with the MT-25. In the Chinese, no new changes at all. They added the 112 and the T-34-3, both of which I've heard are good premium tanks, but I haven't really seen much of them. So let's go back to the garage. See if we can take a look at this. Yeah, so if we look, we spotted 2 tanks. Not a lot. It's kind of a bad matchup. Whatever. Yeah, we didn't do too well. You know, what can be expected? A tier 3 tank in a tier 5 game. Made a little bit of money. Got some experience. Joy. So, as you can see, Panzer 35T, pretty much just a upgrade over the Panzer 35T. Pretty much the exact same stats, all that jazz. Yeah, not much different. So next time, we are going to take a look at the Panzer 38NA. Oh man, this tank rocks. I mean, everybody who talks about this tank says it's the best. In case you're not good at reading my voice, that was sarcasm. This is a tier 4 tank, tier 4 light tank, which means it gets scout matchmaking, which means it can see up to tier 8. But if we take a look at the stats, 300 hit points, will be one-shotted by everything in tier 8 game. 200, and it doesn't weigh a lot, so decent. 62 kilometer speed limit, never reach that unless it's going downhill. 32 traverse, which is alright. 50, you know, it gets overmatched pretty much by tanks it faces. Will never penetrate anything at tier 8. Decent rate of fire, but again, will never penetrate anything at tier 8. A 330 view range. So this tank has to act as a scout, because, you know, it's never gonna compete with anything. So let's see at tier 8. Well, the Tiger 2 is at tier 8. Look at that, it has a 380 meter view range. Oh, okay, well that's surprising. You know, German's tanks were known for the good optics. You know, maybe we should check him against the American tanks. Sure. Tier 8. What does the Pershing have? 390. So even better. The one on the Panzer 38 NA is only 330. So a lot of people do not like this tank at all. The good news is I already have the Hetzer researched and some experience built up on it. So only like 12-ish thousand experience, and we can get the Panzer IV, which is a fantastic tank. As you can see, most of it's already researched as well. So, I've been the Ukrainian Korean. You've been watching, and